almost 47 years ago today, a tornado outbreak took place in northern Texas, or rural Texas to be exact. But this was known as the Terrible Tuesday tornado outbreak of 1979. This included the violent F4 tornado near Wichita Falls, Texas. In this story today, we'll be covering the disaster and or recovery efforts that were put in to this event. It all started out just like any other day in Texas, very hot and muggy. But little did they know, a tornado would spawn just outside of Wichita Falls. It would track for over 47 miles, claiming the lives of at least 46 people and injuring over 1,740. The tornado was only going to come in place shortly. But first, let's begin on the storms. Many little small to severe storms began in central Texas. This would be unremarkably the start of something Texas would never forget. The first storms began to start near Austin, Texas. Some were discrete little storms that bubbled out within an hour. But then, in the evening hours, a tornado touched down just near Wichita Falls, Texas. And it began to carve a very long path of destruction. First off, the tornado was unlike any other. Small and weak at first, causing minimal damage to properties and or trees around it. This was unremarkable. The tornado looked amazing, except it had multiple subvortices spinning around the core at violent speeds. This tornado was unmatchably violent, and it would not be the only violent, deadly tornado in Texas' history. But we're going to have to cover how this all happened. Because first of all, the SBC reports are unknown right now because we can't exactly reach what the SBC put out on the days following. But we can assure that it was likely anywhere between enhanced to a high risk in today's standards. And it allowed for thunderstorms to begin and spin violently. This tornado was carving into the city with immense power. Many homes were leveled, trees were debarked or uprooted or thrown out in many directions. Debris was found strewn about. It can only get worse from here, right? Well, yes, unfortunately. The tornado was extremely violent. So violent that every home in its path was obliterated. Homes sometimes either lost shingles, roofs, or windows or something. But then there's the other buildings that were completely pulverized and never to be seen again. This tornado began to absolutely rip homes apart. Home after home, building after building, gone. Many people died. And within an hour, at least 23 people were killed. And 23 other people would die. And this could only get much, much worse. Because as a violent, monstrous EF4 or F4 tornado carved a mile-wide swath of damage, it was unbroken. And you may be thinking, well, what could happen? What's the worst that could happen? Everything. This tornado was disastrous. And people would eventually come to realize that in the following days. But right now, we're going to cover the rest. As the tornado was leaving the Texas border, it was eventually going into the Oklahoma border, where it caused even more damage, just obliterating structures and devastating many people. This tornado was probably the strongest tornado in Texas's history since 1953. From what we know, the tornado harbored its strongest strength in the eastern side of Wichita Falls, or possibly even directly in the middle of it. Many films were received from this tornado, but we can only find such little media based on the tornado's appearance. Anyway, though, the tornado would eventually leave Texas, and it would dissipate in Oklahoma after being on the ground for somewhere near an hour. And then the cleanup process was underway. It was noted that at least $2 billion in damage was caused to multiple structures in town. This was because the tornado just completely left the town in nothing but shreds. Cars were thrown so far or mangled so badly you could never even tell it was a car. This tornado is infamously called the car killer, since 5 people were killed in their cars as they were trying to escape this monstrous vortex. Large brick homes, or even some large buildings, were just shredded. Just imagine, you're in Wichita Falls, and you see a giant wall of blackness heading right for you, with debris flying all around it. Many people are caught in the path of the circulation and would be unfortunately killed. This was a result of the tornado's immense strength. The wind speed estimates were a little hard to tell because almost everything was left in dust, piles of dust, absolutely obliterated, and they would never be found again. Many cars, many buildings were absolutely eviscerated. There was very little traces of homes left, and many people couldn't even recognize where they once lived because everything that they once saw was gone. We couldn't, even if you looked there, you couldn't even recognize a home because multiple little buildings, restaurants, hospitals, schools, homes were just obliterated, smashed to pieces like a giant hammer just hitting into the ground violently. Ground scouring was reported, and not only that, this tornado was also suspected to be an F5 by Dr. Ted Fujita and Thomas Grazulli in a public statement in 1981. Anyway, from the footage we can receive, this tornado had the closest appearance to the tri-state tornadoes of 1925 because it was a giant black wedge. It was just simply a wall of darkness. You couldn't find a single trace of a home that once lived because all you could just see was a giant black mass beach lining straight towards you. The Wichita Falls was devastated. Every structure was gone, nowhere to be found. And it was noted that extreme property damage was seen all across town. Many residents sought to shelter. Many residents didn't take shelter to record it, which is not very good because they should have taken shelter. But it was widely known that this tornado had almost a 0% chance survival rate in the core. And if you were sucked in, you'd never be seen again. That's what happened for most people. Because, unlike other tornadoes, this tornado struck a city twice. being the cursed F4.